So we've got a distance in here. We see that repeated pretty closely in here. We see that repeated again in here. So we have the 1, 2, 3. These are all very similar. Now we've got one that's up in here that's extended a little bit further. But when we take a look at the general gist of this, we get an idea for how far the market can move at any given time. When the market moves, it tends to move in similar sized legs. And these legs would be called a leg length. We've got a leg length that we are going to evaluate when we're looking to get into a trade that doesn't have a really clear target. So if we're looking for an entry, for example, we're getting into a trade right in here. So we've got our short. This becomes a really nice area of support to target, but this support area is super close to that entry. And I know that this isn't going to be a great target. It's not going to give us a great trade. We're going to be looking at probably less than 1-to-1 on this trade. So I want something that is going to give me a little bit more of a trade. I want the price to break down. Now, if this market is in a trending order, if it is going to trend, we are going to see that the market does break the lows. So we've got the previous low being made, the market breaks below that. We've got another low being made. We'd expect that if that entry is fairly close to that low, that low is going to be broken. Now, if that low is going to be broken, and I'm going to work on that premise, how far can the market move? I will have to go back, and what I want to do is I don't want to use Fibonacci extensions. I want to use what the market has shown me that it can do, and it shows me leg lengths. So if I'm looking at the market in this area, we've got two different leg lengths to choose from. The first one is going to be from this high to this low, essentially, which is very similar to this low here. And the second one is going to be from this high to this low. So we've got two different leg lengths. One is a little bit bigger than the other. Now, if I scroll back in history a little bit, I can take a look and see which one of these is more common. So if I take this leg length and I duplicate it, I can see that from this low to this high, this is a very common leg length. And if I duplicate this again, we can see that in here. This one might be a better tilt for that, but we can see that leg length in here. So we have a market that is capable of moving this leg length over and over and over again. We can see that again in here from this low to this high. So we have this leg length that is repeatable. It is something that the market can do. And we can see this on any time frame. We can see this on any currency pair. We can see this on anything that you're trading, is that when the market moves, it does move in these fairly predictable distances. So let's get rid of all the lines on the chart, zoom in a little bit, go back to where we were. So if we've got this short, and again, we're looking to sell right in here, I now have an idea of how far the market can go based on these leg lengths. I've taken a look at what the market has recently done, compared it a little bit to what the market can do, and I'm seeing that there is some similarities between this leg length and other leg lengths that happened previous. Now, if you wanted to use a more aggressive leg length and go for a little bit bigger target, this would be okay, but you do have to understand that the market does hit a leg length and then it makes a retracement. That doesn't mean that that retracement ends that market move, but I do know that that retracement will generally end up with some kind of a pullback. Now, if I'm looking at getting into that trade, again, we're looking at the short in here. I'm going to put my leg length at the very start of that move, which would be the high here. This makes for a really nice target. So if I'm looking to trade this, I'd be going short here. I'd be looking for my stop loss above. And with that leg length, we're getting about 2.5 to 1, simply because I'm taking the information that the market has already given me, and it's telling me how far that price can go. Now, if I zoom out a little bit, when we take a look at a different time frame, this is a 1 hour. We'll take a look at the 15 minute. We could pick any leg length that's in here and see how it duplicates itself over and over and over again. Now, a leg length is simply going to be a market move before a pullback. So we get a market move and then a pullback, and then a market move and a pullback, and so on. So we're going to see leg length 1, leg length 2, leg length 3. And in a downtrend, of course, we're going to see a market move, a pullback, a market move, a pullback, and so on. Leg length 1, leg length 2, leg length 3, and we're going to have similarities between these market movements. Now, these leg lengths can happen in a bit of a sideways market as well. We'll see a leg length move up, make a bigger pullback, and then we'll see a second leg make another bigger pullback and see a third leg. But these legs are going to generally be of similar length. So we'll see this repeated market movement, which gives us an idea of how far we can take a trade. Now, if we take a look at this, this is a very sideways, rangy market. I can see that we go from the low to the high. So let's start duplicating this. So if I duplicate that, I can see that exact market move right in here. If I duplicate that, I can see that exact market move here again. And right in here. We're looking at this low to this high. Duplicate that again. We can see that market move in here where we have one that's a little bit longer. But even in this sideways choppy environment, we can see that these moves in this one direction are very similar. So we start with a low, measure up to the high, and then we can see fairly clearly that that market movement is something that is repeatable. So let's go back even a little bit further, and we'll take a look at a few more of these market moves. We have one from here to here. Now let's see if we can duplicate that. We're going to duplicate that. We see that low to that high, very, very similar. Let's duplicate this down here. We've got this low to this high. So we have this repeatable move over and over again. Let's take a look at this moving downwards. So we've got a market move in a fairly rangy market in here. We have a range from the top to the bottom. And if we duplicate that, we can see that exact range right in there. And again, we can see that exact range in here. And one more time, we can see that very close range in here. So we've got 4 different legs that move almost the identical distance to each other. Even though the market looks very choppy, even though it looks very contorted and isn't really nice looking to trade, we still get a very similar move when the market does move. Now, I don't like to use Fibonacci extensions when I am looking to target a market that is outside of the area of support and resistance that I have. My favorite targets are support and resistance. So if I am looking for a trade, market moves up, comes back down, market starts to go up, I want to get into a trade here and then target this area. This would be ideal for me, but that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes we're going to get a market that moves up, makes a pullback, and then the trade we get is really close to this level. So what I want to do then is look for a leg length that I can then duplicate and then target that leg length. This is something that I use in my trading just about every day. If I can't target support resistance, I will start to target market leg lengths because they are repeatable, they are predictable, and they have a really high probability that the market is going to reach through and get to those established leg lengths. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you did like the video, please give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do that as well. And if you're a member of the Ultra Blue Forex group, I will see you in the Discord. And if you're not in the Discord, I will see you in the next video.